Brian Regan here, somewhere under this beard. All right, I want to talk about George Carlin. He was a legend, of course, and everyone knows that he was a terrific stand-up comedian, arguably the best ever. And I don't argue with that.
The thing he did for me was he articulated a lot of things I was thinking about, the Catholic Church.
Religion has actually convinced people that there's an invisible man living in the sky who watches everything you do every minute of every day. And the invisible man has a special list of 10 things he does not want you to do. And if you do any of these 10 things, he has a special place full of fire and smoke and burning and torture and anguish where he will send you to live and suffer and burn and choke and scream and cry forever and ever till the end of time. But he loves you.
He gave me the possibility that this could be said and this could be done. And the thing I remember most is the importance of language and words. And you can keep going. Carlin would take a premise, and there's nothing left. Nothing left. There's no meat on that bone, and then he starts eating the bone. He just keeps drilling down on a subject.
He came at every angle of a joke, and how his writing was so brilliant that he just laid everything out to where, to me, there could be no confusion.
If language is our servant, let's put this son of a bitch to work. Let's go fucking killing and killing fucking for about a month and a half. Just long enough to confuse us a little about which one we really fear and want, all right? Fucking and killing, just anywhere you see them. Movies? The movies would be great.
Better get down off the horse, Sheriff. We're fixing to fuck you now.
He was also a great writer. He had 2 books that I enjoyed. One was Napalm and Silly Putty, and the other was Brain Droppings. And I read both of them, and it's the hardest I've ever laughed while reading that I've ever enjoyed in my life. I remember reading certain parts of the book, like laughing, like double over, your gut hurts kind of laugh.
I loved, and still do, the hair poem, because when I was a kid, everyone made fun of my hair. And it wasn't a matter of length. It wasn't like the same thing that guys had when they were growing up at that age, where their parents constantly harassed them about the length of their hair. I just had wild, uncontrollable junior high kid hair, and everyone made fun of it.
Not only did I get to meet George Carlin, I got to work with him. Yeah, look, there's a picture of me and George. This is hanging in my kitchen in my apartment in New York. That's the green room at the Comedy Magic Club. So I get a call from my manager. Mike Lacey called him. Mike Lacey owns the Comedy Magic Club. I'm supposed to headline the weekend. And my manager says, listen, Mike's got a problem. He says he can either move your weekend or you could open. Right away, my ego kicks in. Open? I'm a headliner at Comedy Magic. I'm not open. What sword swallower does Mike Lacey want me to open for? He said, George Carlin. And I went, does he need a ride? Can I pick George up? What can I do? The answer is yes. So George told me, he said, I don't improvise, I memorize. So you can't go in the green room. It's George's domain until after the show, and then you're welcome to come in. So, okay, so I'm backstage. I'm very nervous. The MC comes off. I walk on stage. I do a half hour. Kill. It's great. I walk off, and in the wings are the little eyes and the silver beard. And there he is. There he is. And he reaches out his hand. He said, you're funny. And I went, and you're Carlin. And I shook his hand, and we just started talking. He was quoting jokes that I did. He goes, that joke was great. And my heart's racing. I'm trying to be cool, but inside I'm jumping up and down going, that's George Carlin. All of a sudden, you hear the audience applause, and George looks at me and goes, is that for me? I go, they don't want to see me again, George. You better get out there. So he went out, crushed it, invited us back to the green room. Me, my wife, he was so gracious, took pictures. We talked comedy. That's the picture he took. And then he said, all right, I'll see you tomorrow night. So we go back to the hotel, and I'm on cloud 9. And my wife is smiling because I'm giddy like a child. And then it dawns on me, see you tomorrow night. George has had, 14, 15,000 HBO specials. I can't do the same act. So now I'm furiously going through my notebook, and my wife and I are playing this game called Honey, Is This Funny? I'm driving her insane. I went up the next night, did a whole new half in front of him, and he went, funny again. I go, yep, and you're still calling. So
I only got to see him perform one time. It was in Atlantic City. I was at a comedy club. He was at the theater. And after our show, they let us comedians go hang out in the back, up in the mezzanine, and watch him wrap up his show. He only had a few minutes left of his show. And he wasn't doing great. You could tell he was working on his craft. He was working on jokes. And I remember he wasn't necessarily killing. I enjoyed watching it because I liked watching a master work. And this guy got up with his group and walked out. And as he walked by me towards the exit, this guy said, "This guy don't know nothing about comedy." And I remember thinking, there's not a guy in this world who knows more about comedy than that guy you're talking about. So it was just kind of funny. And anyway, George Carlin, he's the top dog for a reason.